Welcome to News West 9's West Texas View with Johnny Lou Avery.
Welcome to the West Texas View. I'm Johnny Lou Avery, and I am so pleased to have in the studio today Jim Wise, who is going to be talking to us about several things that I think are really important. The first one is the Remuda Quarter Horse Association show that's going to be coming in 3 weeks, March the 23rd through 25th, and it's going to be at the Midland Horseshoe Arena. And we're going to talk all about that and the why and the where and the how of putting on an event like this. But we're also going to be talking about horses in general and the association in general and some of the things that you need to know. And I think this is going to be a delightful program because we don't have enough about horses, and we should have more about horses in our West Texas area. Jim, it's a real pleasure to have you here. And I know you're on the board of directors for the Remuda Quarter Horse Association, but you're also involved in a lot of other horse-related organizations. So tell us about yourself and your family and then how you're connected with horses.
Okay, I am married to my wife, Kathy. We've been married for almost 30 years now and have a daughter that lives in Abilene with her husband, Savannah. And they've been married for a year and a half now and waiting on grandkids. I am involved with Remuda Quarter Horse Association, which we're here to promote a little bit today, but also I'm involved with Sandhills. I'm on their executive committee and responsible for their youth events, which is Christian Youth Night and the Sidewinders and that sort of thing, and then several of the committees I'm also involved with them. I'm very involved in my church, and I spend a lot of time with our horses and activities with them as a family. That is our thing.
Is horses part of your vocation?
It is not. It is for pleasure for my wife and I and our daughter.
And when your daughter was growing up, you saw some real benefits to having her involved with horses and having that responsibility and that training, didn't you?
Absolutely, and it wasn't just limited to horses, although horses was her first love, but she was also involved in 4-H, and we had goats and steers that she showed, and rabbits also. So the responsibility that goes with any kind of animal or that needs someone to watch after and take care of it is tremendous.
And just the tenderness that I think somebody that loves animals has such a tenderness toward people, toward any creatures, not just animals, but toward any creatures.
Absolutely. If you've ever had animals, then you know that they each have different personalities, just like people do, and you get to, recognize those things, and you have to respond to them, just like, and they respond to you. So it is a relationship, just as it is with people.
And I love 4-H. I'm glad you mentioned 4-H. But so, how long have you been involved with the Remuda Quarter Horse Association?
I have been involved in it since its inception as it was a group that separated off from another quarter horse organization around here that moved to another area, and we started this, and that's we were discussing it the other day. I believe we've been in existence now for 15 years. And we were involved.
And so how long have you had this quarter horse show sponsored by Remuda?
Now, we have always had, Remuda has always been the organization that put these shows on. So for that entire time frame. So we've been a part of that whole time as people that were just members of. My wife and I have become part of the board last year and the previous year for my wife. She's rolling off the board.
And tell me, what is the purpose of a quarter horse show? And explain it from the standpoint of people that know nothing about horses, know nothing about the different breeds of horses and that kind of thing.
Sure. Our sole purpose is to promote the American Quarter Horse, which their headquarters is in Amarillo, Texas, and has been there for a very long time. And it is a breed. The American Quarter Horse goes back in our history for a long, long ways.
To Indians.
That's right. And it is a cross between using a thoroughbred and other horses to produce what they call a quarter horse, which is actually the level of breeding that they have. And they also race these horses. If in Ruidoso and places like that, you probably heard the racetracks and
Quarter Horse Futurity.
the Rainbow Futurity in Ruidoso absolutely has been around for a long time, and so there's two aspects of the quarter horse organization. One is the racing organization, and then they have the show horse organization. We're involved with the show horse side of it, and there are events, different age groups for the classes, and then different events, starting with halter, which is just showing off the conformation of the quarter horse, and then moving into classes where you ride the horse and ask it to do different things, and then the horse is judged on the way that it listens to you or it acts during those classes.
Because if I understand it correctly, and correct me if I'm wrong, but the quarter horse is supposed to have been bred to be one of the most graceful, beautiful, and versatile breeds.
I think versatility is one of the key words with the quarter horse, that because of its breeding, it fit a lot of different activities, and most of what you see in the westerns and stuff, that's what kind of horses they're riding, is quarter horses, and that was the favorite throughout our past in the western days.
And the interesting thing is, when you talk about versatility, there's not many breeds that are trained for racing and for showmanship, or racing in some other area. So this is really kind of an all-purpose breed.
It is, absolutely. It's an all-purpose breed. And there are other horses, other breeds that are all-purpose, but the quarter horse seems to have the history, and especially in this area, and seems to be more popular than some of the others.
And it seems to me like I heard one time that they're also a sturdier kind of horse. They're not as easily sick.
That there is absolutely there is some rumors about that, but I think those of you that have animals and horses, you find that you have a very good relationship with your vet whenever you have animals also. So
very expensive relationship with your
sometimes yes, but for the most part it's just like people. They catch colds and they do things. Sometimes they're looking for an accident here or there. So
well, one of the interesting things is that by having an association, you're bringing all of these owners, or these people interested in the quarter horse breed, together and really promoting that breed above all else. We're going to have to take a break right now, and we're going to come back in just a minute and continue this conversation. We'll see you in just a minute.
Stay tuned. West Texas View will be right back.